Okay, so as you can see here, I'm holding a bag of pink salmon, right? And it says that it's wild caught, skin on fillets. So naturally, you would think that it's an all natural food, right? So I also thought, I said, you know what? Let me check the ingredients of this thing to make sure that it ain't any extras in there, no additives, no preservatives, salt, whatever, right? So I turned to the side and I'm looking at the ingredients, and it says pink salmon fillets. Okay, so we know that that's what it is, right? And then it have the water, and then it have the sodium tripolyphosphate, and then beside that it says added to retain the moisture. So automatically I'm thinking that's the fluid that's surrounding the fillets in the packages, right? But then I read below it, and it says may contain traces of crustacean shellfish. Okay, and then it says beside that crab, lobster, and shrimp. So automatically, what comes into my mind is the dietary law of the Most High. In the books of Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Isaiah, just to name a few, right? So I'm thinking to myself now, this pink salmon is now made unclean. This is what you call a case of mixing the unclean with the clean. Because you have the pink salmon itself, you know, according to the laws of the Most High, the dietary law, we're permitted to eat these fish. This is a clean fish. It has scales and fins. And it's one of the best fish out there. It's very beneficial for your health compared to other fishes, and it's a good fish. But now it's made unclean because the traces of the crustacean shellfish, right? So now us brothers and sisters in this walk, the ones that's striving to keep the dietary law of the Most High, we can't even buy this no more. You may see the front of the package and it says, wild caught pink salmon, but when you turn to the ingredients on the side here, it's unclean, right? So, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, even though it says it's obvious, it's crab, lobster, and shrimp for the crustacean fish. But these are your crustacean fish here. As you can see, it is what it says. It's all of your shellfish, right? As you can see here, the crustaceans. You have your shrimps here, your crabs, right? Your spider crabs, you know, whatever that is right there. I don't even know what the heck that is, right? You have all of your, what is that? All of your shellfish, all your creepy crawling scavengers at the bottom of the sea, right? And which is abomination in the Most High to eat, right? In the eyes of the Most High. What's this right here? I don't even know what that is right there, but according to this list, it's a crustacean shellfish, right? And these are the things that our people love to consume. They don't regard the laws of the Most High. They don't care if the Most High says, it's an abomination to you and to Him for to see you eating it. But our people don't care. They cast that behind them. When they see stuff like this, me personally, I think stuff like this is hideous. You know what I'm saying? But our people, the ones that don't keep the laws of the Most High, especially the dietary law, they look at something like this and they automatically think, oh, dinner. It's time to bring out the big pot. They whip out the big pot, fill it up with water, bring it to a brawl, throw these up in there, throw the Old Bay seasoning on there, then they melt the butter for the butter sauce and the garlic and all that. And they go to work, on these things, like it's a beneficial food. And this stuff is an abomination to the Most High, man. We're not supposed to be eating these things, So that's your crustacean fish, and it's in the traces of the fluid that's surrounding the pink salmon in those packages, right? As you can see here, this is your umbrella of your crustacean fishes right here, right? You have your brine shrimp, your barnacles, your copod. Half of these things I don't even know what it is. A brine shrimp, you know, your ostracod. Like what is these things here? Your sandhopper, your crayfish, your crab, your prawn, your krill, mantis shrimp. Those are your crustaceans there. You know what I mean? And more than likely, it's going to be mixed with these right here. It ain't going to be like your typical crab and stuff like that. It's going to be with the lower bottom cases of the crustacean shellfish, like this: your brine shrimp, your barnacles, your copod, All of these creepy crawling things, man. That's an abomination unto the Most High for us to eat, right? But our people don't care. They really don't. But one day they will, and they will see, right? And not only that, you also have other foods that we have to be careful when we're buying, right? Because there's a lot of things in the ingredients in those foods that's unhealthy for us and unclean, right? Especially for us brothers and sisters in this walk of truth, you know. And just to bring it out to you, I took a few pictures of some of these things that we all should be aware of, right? So, as you see here, you have your cheddar and sour cream chips. It's a good chips. A lot of people like to buy these for quick pick me ups. A quick snack, right? You see on there, it's gluten free. So you will think that it's an okay thing to have, right? But when you check the ingredients to these things here, as it says here, you have your monosodium glutamate, right? It says right there, and then you have your salt, your enzymes. So you already know when you intake too much salt, that can't be good for you. It sort of raise your blood pressure, it raise your cholesterol, your bad cholesterol. So too much salt intake is not good for you, right? And then you have your enzymes here. So I want you to keep that in mind. Sometimes that's plant-based, sometimes it's derived from animals, which is pork and beef. You know, for the most part, it's pork because they used to use beef, but most of these companies nowadays that process these foods, they found that using pork is a more cheaper choice to go with. So a lot of them, when they create these enzymes, they use the pork, which makes it unclean to us. To us brothers and sisters in this walk of truth, right? And then on the bottom, you have your yellow 5, yellow 6, yellow 6 lake, yellow 5 lake. What is all of that stuff, right? So I'm going to bring that out to you later. Then, of course, you got your sweetest fish. This is another favorite by our people. We like to buy these things and snack on these things. We pretty much grew up on these, right? But if you look at the ingredients here, you have your red 40, right? And then also you have your artificial flavoring too. So I mean, pretty much we all know anything that's artificial can't be beneficial for you, right? So you have your red 40 there. And then you have your gummy bears, your Albanese, supposedly the world's best, made in the USA, right? So automatically you'll think, it's a good snack to snack on. Right here it says it's fat free, it's gluten free. I think that says it's low sodium, right? So when you see these things right here, you would think, oh, okay, all right, it's fat free, it's gluten free. I don't have to worry about gaining weight when I'm eating these things or feeling tired from the gluten, right? But when you look at the ingredients to these stuff, there you go. That's the kicker right there, right? It says gelatin. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that out to you later and let you know what that is. And then you have here the FD&C yellow 5, FD&C yellow red 40, FD&C blue 1, FD&C yellow 6. All of these adjectives and these things, right? But that's the main culprit right there. The gelatin or gelatin, however you want to pronounce it, right? So I'm gonna bring that out to you later and let you know what that is. Then of course you have your Starbucks, you know, or Starburst, Salakia. This is a good candy here. Our people love consuming these things. They give it to them their kids. They have it for themselves. And it's been around for a long time. It's a good tasting candy, right? But if you go to the ingredients here, oh, see, there you go. That's that word again. The gelatin, right? And then you have the natural and artificial flavors. You have the colors, which is artificial, the red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, right? And this right here is in your Starburst. Okay, so now you got your Snickers here, your originals, your minis, your almonds. Another favorite, for our people. A lot of us, we buy these things out like crazy. Sometimes I go to the supermarket and the whole shelf is clear. They buy these things like crazy, right? But if you look at this right here in the ingredients, it says hydrogenated cottonseed oil. So if you do your research, and it also says hydrogenated palm kernel oil. So if you do your research on what's hydrogenated, that shows something that's processed over and over and over and over again. It's bleached over and over again to lighten its color. You know what I'm saying? And then, foods have been linked to cancer that have this ingredient in it, anything that's hydrogenated, right? And then you have here, which is the main culprit of this, is the TBHQ. Okay, so all of these ingredients is in our foods that we're buying on a regular basis that we don't regard, right? And then of course you have your Duncan Hines, your cake mix, right? This is a Sunday afternoon, Sunday night favorite, with the dinner. Why people like to buy this right here, they like to make their cakes, their chocolate cake, their yellow cake, their strawberry cake, what have you, right? Alongside with their abominable baked ham, with the pineapples all over it, with the honey on it, the honey glaze, right? So if you look at the ingredients in this right here, and what I want you to focus on is mono and diglycerides. Okay? So that's what's in your cake mix that we normally buy. And then you have the modified food starch, right? So anything that's modified, it's basically GMO. It's created by Monsanto. They create all of the GMO foods, right? And that stuff is bad for you. It's cancerous if you consume that too much. You can do your research on that. I ain't gonna go too much into that, right? Then of course you have your Wonder Bread, right? That's another thing that our people like to buy. That's actually considered one of the best breads out there. Besides the Nature's Own and the Pepperidge Farms or whatever, you got your Wonder Bread. People like to put their abominable ham in there, their abominable catfish or whatever, you know. And then not only that, if you check the ingredients to the Wonder Bread, you know, right here it says monoglycerides, okay? And then beside that it says mono and diglycerides. And then after that it says distilled monoglycerides. And then a line down, again, it says mono and glycerides again, right? So you have like quadruple mono and diglycerides in here, right? So I want you to focus on that, and I'm gonna bring that out to you and let you know what that is, okay? And then of course you have your accents here. This is one of the favorite seasonings our people love to buy, right? They put it on just about everything they cook, from the fish to the chicken, the abominable pork, the shellfish, the abominable shellfish, anything. They put it in their greens, what have you. And then you look at the front of it, you see it says 60% less sodium than salt. So automatically you would think in your mind, oh, okay, well, I'm trying to lower my salt intake. This must be better than salt. So I would rather get this right here than salt, right? But if you look at the ingredients here, it says monosodium glutamate, right? That's the only thing it's made out of. So I'm going to bring that out to you as a matter of fact. Being that that's the last one that we've seen here, I'm going to bring out to you was monosodium glutamate. All right, so we did the crustaceans that was in the packages of the pink salmon, and which made that unclean, so we can't eat that we know now, right? So we're going to go to MSG, which is monosodium glutamate. Okay, as you can see here at the top of the screen, you got your Raymond's noodles or whatever. This is the monosodium glutamate. It's in the seasonings, you know. That's your noodles there, of course. We all know that. Most of us grew up on that, right? And didn't know what the hell we was eating. But now, we're about to find out now, okay? All right, so monosodium glutamate, also known as sodium glutamate, is the sodium salt of glutamic acid, one of the most abundant naturally occurring non-essential amino acids, right? So right here is letting you know that it's non-essential. Anything that's non-essential is unbeneficial to the body. It's not healthy, right? So it's letting you know here it's naturally occurring non-essential amino acids, right? So it's unbeneficial. It tastes good, but it does nothing for you. If anything, it makes your health worse, right? So as it reads, glutamate acid is found naturally in tomatoes, grapes, cheese, mushrooms, and other foods. Okay, so we scroll down. What MSG does to your body? Glutamate acid functions as a neurotransmitter in your brain, right? So it's letting you know it functions as a neurotransmitter in your brain, you know? So that's letting you know it's not even a natural thing that's occurring in your body. It's a lot of trickery, it's a lot of foolery in there, right? It is an excitatory neurotransmitter, meaning that it stimulates nerve cells in order to relay a signal. Some people claim that MSG leads to excessive glutamate in the brain and excessive stimulation of the cells. Right, so that's letting you know there that it's a foreign object that's going in your brain, right? Some people claim that MSG leads to excessive glutamate, right? So that's not even an original ingredient of your body that goes to your brain, and it functions as a neurotransmitter in your brain, right? So that's letting you know that that stuff not even supposed to be there. It's not a natural occurring thing in your body, right? All right, so it says here, what is MSG and why is it bad? The labels are meant to ease consumers, right? Just as I showed you here. You know, the labels are meant to ease consumers, right? 60% less sodium than salt. So that's what eases you. When you see something like that, you say, okay, well this is better than salt, right? So we go back. The labels are meant to ease consumer worries because MSG, which is used as a flavor enhancer for decades, been properly linked to various health problems. Right? So if this don't get you, I don't know what will. I mean, it's clear as day here, right? It's been properly linked to various health problems such as headaches, and allergic reactions. It's ever been considered a factor in infantile obesity, right? So right here, it's been linked to various health problems. It gives you headaches. Those are the headaches that our people be complaining about after they eat that Sunday dinner, right? That Sunday ham, that Sunday's catfish, all of the abominable things, right? They fried shrimp or whatever that's loaded with the MSG, right? So that's the reason why they have the headaches and the allergic reactions. That's why they head into CVS and Dwayne Reed, you know, and all of the other pharmacies. They're just clearing out those aisles with the medicine, for the allergic reactions, right? Then it says here it's even been considered a factor in infantile obesity. So not only that, it's making you fat too. So you worried about where all of that weight is coming from. It's coming from here. It's coming from the MSG, right? Does MSG cause weight gain? Right? And it reads MSG linked to weight gain. New York Reuters Health. The flavor enhancer monosodium glutamate, most often associated with Chinese food, right? Another thing that our people like to buy. And after dinner headaches may also be enhancing waistlines. Right? So there you go. There you have it. It says it again. That's what's making you gain weight and obese, right? Eating all of that Chinese food, the monosodium glutamate, right? A new study finds researchers found that people who eat more MSG are more likely to be overweight and obese. May 27, 2011. Right? So that's a clear cut there what MSG does to you. It makes you fat. It acts as a neurotransmitter in your brain to stimulate your brain to make you think, that, you want more or that it tastes good, using a lot of trickery and a lot of foolery, which is witchcraft. So this stuff ain't good for you, man. It ain't good. Look at this. Does MSG make you feel full or hungry? Right? And then the researchers concluded this study has shown MSG and IMP had two effects on appetite. It acts to stimulate hunger when it is first tasted as a result of increased palatability, it then acts to enhance feelings of being full. Right? So right there, it shows a lot of trickery here. It stimulates your mind to think it's hungry, and then afterwards, it makes you feel like you're full, but you're really not. It makes you feel like you're full. So that's a lot of trickery going on there, man, with this MSG here. Now, here's the culprit, right? Is MSG made from pork? Okay? And it reads, the agency eventually declared that monosodium glutamate based taste enhancer contained enzymes, right? Just as I was bringing it out before in the salt and the slakia, the cheese and sour cream chips, it contained the enzymes, right? Like I was saying, sometimes it's plant based, or sometimes it's animal based, which is made from beef. Sometimes, but most of the time it's made from pork, because all of these producers, they found that going to pork is a more cheaper alternative, right? So as it says right here, contain enzymes growing on pork fat, right? This is your monosodium glutamate here. The agency eventually declared that a monosodium glutamate based taste enhancer contained enzymes grown on pork fat. The MSG seasoning had been made from a beef based product, just as I said before, right? Until June, when the company switched to a pork enzyme, right? And this is all the way back in January 12, 2001, right? So not only MSG is bad for you health wise, it raises your blood pressure, it tricks your brain into thinking that it's hungry and full, it causes headaches, makes you fat, and now it's unclean. So that's a double whammy all the way around. It's made from pork. So now us brothers and sisters in the truth, if we see anything with MSG in the ingredients or accent itself, which is a monosodium glutamate, now you got to X that off the list now, because it's unclean. You can't eat it. According to the laws of the Most High, the dietary law, it's an abomination unto you that you cannot eat this stuff right here. Right? That's your MSG there. So now we got that out the way. Let's go to the mono and diglycerides. Okay. And it says here, I'm going to go down. It's mono and diglycerides pork. Vegans and vegetarians may want to avoid mono and diglycerides sourced from animal fat. Okay? People with religious dietary restrictions, which is us brothers and sisters in the truth, we're striving to keep the laws of the Most High, right? People with religious dietary laws, restrictions, may also want to avoid mono and diglycerides sourced from animals such as pork or beef, right? So notice here, the pork, you know, it's like an emphasis on this right here. It's darker here, right? And then you have your beef there. So it's letting you know exactly where mono and diglycerides mainly comes from. It comes from pork. Okay, so now if you're buying these things, these foods, mainly the breads, with the mono and diglycerides in there, and sometimes the ice cream have the mono and diglycerides too. You got to check the ingredients on that. So it's letting you know that the mono and diglycerides is made from pork. So that's another thing that you got to cross off your list there. I'm not saying that you stop buying bread in general. Me personally, me and my family, we make our own bread just to avoid this stuff right here, right? But if you still want to buy your bread, there's still breads out there. Sometimes that I even buy personally that's not made with the mono and diglycerides, but they're hard to find. And when you do find it, it's going to cost a lot of money. But you'll see. I'll let you do your own research, right? So it's letting you know there the mono and diglycerides sourced from animal fats such as pork. Okay, so we got that covered. So I'm gonna go down to the cochineal bug, right? Just as we was talking about before, your red 40, your yellow 6, your yellow 5, your blue 1, and all that, right? So this is where all of that stuff come from. This is your cochineal bug, right? Look at this right here. This is a creepy crawler, man. Look at this, right? You're not supposed to be that. What Look at this right here. This is an abomination to the Most High. These are all the unclean bugs that we're not supposed to be eating from, right? The scarlet dye used chiefly for coloring food. Huh? Look at this right here. That's the dye right there. That's the red 40. You know, we're not supposed to be consuming this stuff right here. And this is what's hitting in your food, right? Look at this right here. Is the cochineal safe to eat? Most consumers, carmine, for most consumers, carmine is safe to eat. Right? So they're letting this, hey, this is only made for the consumers. We don't even consume this stuff ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it started off like that. For most consumers, the carmine is safe to eat, but a small percentage of people who eat foods dyed with this particular insect extract will have allergic reactions ranging from a mild case of hives to a dangerous anaphylactic type reaction. Right? A dangerous anaphylactic type reaction. Right? So if these things right here are safe to eat, then you won't be having these reactions to it, and all of this stuff is in our foods, man, that we buy on a daily basis. Mainly our people, who don't regard price or quality, or anything that's biblically clean, according to the laws of the Most High. This stuff right here can mess you up, man. Right? So that's the reason why we got to look at these ingredients on the food. I've been doing it for the longest now, but that's the reason why I'm making this video, to inform you guys, right, my people. Right? So it says right here, I'm gonna go further down. The Skittles. There you have it. That's the candies, right? We love to give our kids. Are Skittles made out of bugs, which is the cochineal bug. Carmine is a red dye used to create the red Skittles. Carmine is harvested from the cochineal scale insect. Okay? The shellac is a wax secreted by the lact insect, Queria lacca, right? Food grade shellac is often used as a coating to seal the food and prevent transfer of the color dyes from the candy to the skin. Right, so that's the reason why the color don't get on your skin, because it have the grade shellac is also used as a coating to seal the food and prevent transfer of the color dyes from the candy to the skin. Okay, so right there it says that your red Skittles is made from the carmine, which is derived from the cochineal bug. Okay, so that's your red 40. That's what's made to make the red Skittles, right? Why is red 40 bad for you? Potential health hazards. According to the Center for Science in the Public Interest, red 40 and other AFCs can cause allergic reactions in some people. Research shows that they can also cause hyperactivity in children, which is your so-called nowadays, what is it, ADHD? So that's your hyperactivity in children and immune systems, tumors in mice, right? So this is what red 40 calls, and it's all derived from the cochineal bug, right? And it's in a lot of these foods out here that we buy and consume on a daily basis, right? And if you give it to your kids, it causes hyperactivity in children and immune systems tumors in mice. Okay. And then you have your strawberries. A lot of us we see the strawberries that's in the supermarkets. It look all pretty and shiny and red, right? Do strawberries have red dye? Strawberries turn a natural red color in their ripening process. This is usually a very strong ruby red color. Rest assured, strawberries in the U.S. are not dyed. FDA clearly lists all adulteration done to fruits. Oranges can be dyed. All right, so you have your oranges that can be dyed, right? So you go to the supermarket and you see all of your oranges up there look all pretty and orange and nice, you know, that shows that they have the dye on that stuff there. But the strawberries only has a regulation of when this product is considered moldy, right? So it's letting you know there, but the strawberries only has a regulation of when the product is considered moldy. So it's letting you know for fruit that's quick to rot real quick, and to keep its beautification of its appearance, it puts the red dye on there on the strawberries. That's why when you go to the supermarkets and you see like two different um, kinds of strawberry products, you'll see one that's more redder than the other. It looks more appealing to you than the other. And then of course you see the ones that's less appealing. That's the ones that's more natural. And then you have the ones that's it's like it's beautiful. It looks bright. It's red. It's shiny. That's the ones with the red dye on it from the cochineal bug, man. As it says here, but strawberries has only Salakia, the strawberries only has a regulation of when the product is considered moldy. So, it's letting you know that it puts the dye on there too, you know. And yeah, it's even in your ketchups here, as it says here. As I go further down, right, is their red dye in ketchup. Many people need to have ketchup or tomato sauce as a combination with many other snacks and food. Guess which color tomatoes are? Not only the red looking tomato ketchup, even chili, tamarind, and many other sauces also use red 40 dye as a food coloring agent. Right? So it's even in your ketchup. So now you got to check the ingredients on the ketchup now to make sure that it's no red 40 in there. You know? Yeah, all of this stuff is in our foods, man. We're not supposed to be consuming this right here, as it says right here. What food dyes are bad for ADHD? Right? So you have this right here. And all of this stuff causes hyperactivity in children. You know? So yeah, that's what's on the cochineal bug, And this stuff looks disgusting. Look at this right here. I don't even know how someone can even think to use this bug to make food out of it, or anything for food. It's a shame, man. And all of this stuff is put in the foods, especially the cheaper foods that most of our people are going to look to buy to save some money, right? So we did the dye. So now I'm gonna go to the TBHQ. Okay, so that one was in the Snickers that I showed you. All right, so as it says here, TBHQ might be one of them. So it's letting you know that, the TBHQ, that's what it's abbreviated for, okay? TBHQ is an adjective to preserve processed foods, right? So processed foods are already bad for you. And then they're adding TBHQ in there, right? Like that's going to make it any better. So it says it acts as an antioxidant, but unlikely the healthy antioxidants you find in fruits and vegetables, this antioxidant has a controversial reputation, right? So it's letting you know that it acts as an antioxidant, but it's not a natural antioxidant. Unlike the healthy antioxidants you find in fruits and vegetables, right? So right there, right along the first paragraph of TBHQ is letting you know that this stuff is unhealthy, right? But they put it in the Snickers and other chocolate candies that we buy on a regular basis, right? Is TBHQ toxic, right? The toxicity summary. TBHQ is a white to light tan crystalline substance with a faint odor. It is used as an antioxidant in fats and oils. Human exposure and toxicity. There have been reports of vision disturbances in individuals exposed to this chemical. Right? So the TBHQ, it messes up your vision. But you're eating these in your Snickers, you're eating it in your Three Musketeers or whatever. Your whatever chocolate you got out there, your Milky Ways. All of the chocolates that our people love, right? They have this TBHQ. It's in your cold cereals. All you got to do is check the ingredients on the side, right? And this stuff right here, it messes up your vision. There have been reports of vision disturbances in individuals exposed to this chemical, right? So that's another thing that you got to get rid of. How much TBQ can kill you, right? So they actually have something on here that says how much TBHQ can kill you, right? It says here, ingesting 5 grams of TBHQ can kill, right? So you eating all of this stuff in your food, and you're not even really taking heed to what this stuff is, man. Our people they better wake up. Not only to the laws of the Most High of keeping a clean, kosher dietary law, but also to all of these other ingredients that's being put in our food, man. Look, it's right there, TBHQ. So yeah, we got to be careful, man. We got to be very careful here on what we choose to buy when we go into these supermarkets, right? Look at this right here. Does McDonald's use TBHQ? The worst thing about this adjective used in frying McDonald's fries or chicken nuggets isn't that it's linked to food allergies, right? So that's letting you know that the McDonald's is linked to food allergies. I haven't ate McDonald's in years. I don't feed it to my kids. I definitely don't buy it for myself and my wife. We stopped going. We don't go to those places, man. If we want our fries, or any hamburger, which I barely eat. I don't even barely eat hamburgers anymore. Because of all of the stuff that it's being grinded up with. You don't know what the heck is in hamburgers nowadays. But all of this stuff I don't buy, man. I don't deal with these places anymore. But it says right here, you know, it's that TBHQ has been linked to cancer and has been banned in Europe, right? July 13, 2018. So, those people over there in Europe, they done did their research on TBHQ and they see the damages it does to people, right? And it's been linked to cancer. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a person that's trying to stay healthy, you know, you after seeing this right here, you shouldn't even think to buy anything with TBHQ in it, right? And then you have here, do ramen noodles contain TBHQ, right? Ramen noodles are particularly unhealthy because they contain a food additive called TBHQ, right? So it's letting you know it. Oh man, our people love the ramen noodles. They have cabinets full of ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff is bad. Not only does it have the pork MSG in there, it's high in salt. It's fake. You know what I'm saying? But it also have TBHQ. So that food is poison, man. That's the reason why it's so cheap. You could buy one pack of ramen noodles for like 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? So that's a ring a bell there, man. That you shouldn't be buying this right here. You know, a preservative that is a petroleum industry byproduct, right? They also incredibly high in sodium, calories, and saturated fat, right? That stuff is bad, man. It's poison. You know what I'm saying? But our people like this stuff, man. I don't even need to speak anymore. And you know, I mean, that alone, just what I just showed you there, should let you know not to buy anything with TBHQ, let alone ramen noodles. And it's been years. It's been probably, I don't know, maybe 15 years since I ate that stuff, man. Right? Because I do my research, man. I look on these things, and you know, Hey, if you're a true follower of the Most High and a keeper of His laws, and you want to stay free from the wiles of Satan, these are the things that you must do if you want to prolong your years on this earth, and remain healthy. Not only that, but mainly, staying spiritually and physically clean in the eyes of the Most High by keeping His dietary law. Okay, so we did all of that, right? We did the cochineal, we did the crustaceans, we did the mono and diglycerides, right? We did the okay. All right, so we pretty much did all of that, right? So I'm gonna bring out a couple of scripture here, and I'm gonna go to the book of Sirach, which is in the book of Apocrypha. For those who don't know, it's a part of the 16 lost books of the Bible of the King James Version, okay? And I'm going to go to the book of Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus, but Sirach in the ancient Hebrew tongue. All right, chapter 32. And I'm gonna start at 15. Okay? And it reads here, He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat. Right? So who are the ones that seek of the law? That's us. That's us, brothers and sisters, striving to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the Most High. Right? We strive to keep this dietary law. We try to entice our people to keep the dietary law to remain spiritually and physically clean in the eyes of the Most High. Right? So we're the ones that seek of the law, and we'll be filled with the law. Whenever we speak about something, it's going to be about the laws and keeping the laws, right? But the hypocrite will be offended thereat. Right? So who's your hypocrites? Those are your false teachers. Those are your teachers that teach lawlessness. The ones that we teach that we're under grace. We can eat whatever we want. We can live however we want. We can dress however we want, right? That's your teachers of lawlessness. Those are the hypocrites, and they're going to be offended because when us brothers and sisters bring out the truth and expose them for the false prophets they're going to be a hypocrite, right? They're going to be offended because they're the ones that's out there eating the swine, eating the shellfish, eating all of the abominable things to the Most High, right? So they're going to be offended by that, right? I'm going to go to verse 17. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will, right? So if you're a sinful man, just as the scriptures say, if you commit sin, you're a servant of sin. So that means that you go through your daily basis of committing sin, breaking the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You cast it behind you and you don't care. You're the type of man that defile the Sabbath. You like to work on the Sabbath. You don't like to study your scriptures on the Sabbath to get close to the Most High, to know these laws, statutes, commandments, right? So you're a sinful man. You find an excuse for your will. Oh, I got to work on a Sabbath because, I got to make this extra money. I want to buy some new clothes, or I want to buy this new car. I want to buy this new shoes, or whatever, right? So you make an excuse to defile the Sabbath. Oh, I'm bored. I don't want to sit in the house all day. So I'm just going to run here, run there, do some errands or whatever, do some shopping, right? And which you're not supposed to be doing, right? So that's what it says here. A sinful man will not be approved. So you can't. It's basically like you can't teach them the laws of the Most High. You try to teach them to keep the Sabbath, or you try to teach them to keep the dietary laws of the Most High. There are certain foods on this earth that's created by the Most High that we're not supposed to eat. People still do it, and they do it proudly. They show it on their social media. All of their bacon and all of their shrimps and whatever. Mix the unclean with the clean, the sea and land platter at the restaurants, They got the shrimps laying beside the steak. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff is an abomination to the Most High, right? But these people call themselves believers in God and followers of Christ, right? So that's your hypocrite there, as it says in verse 15. But the hypocrite will be offended thereat. So when the hypocrite is offended, they find ways to boast in their sin. And by boasting in their sin, they're going to post things like that on social media. Or they're going to tell people, hey, I'm going to Red Lobster to eat a whole big plate, a plateau of shrimp, lobster, crab, or whatever, the octopus salad, you know? So, that's what the hypocrites are, man. And it's a shame, but, that's our people for you, right? I'm going to go to verse 23. In every good work, trust thy own soul, for this is the keeping of the commandments. Right? So, what are those good works? Just as it says here, this is the keeping of the Most High's commandments, which is the dietary law. Right? So, in every good work, trust thy own soul, for this is the keeping of the commandments. He that believeth, the ones that truly believe in the Most High, right? In the Lord, Yahweh, taketh heed to the commandment, which is the dietary law. And he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse. Right? So the ones that truly believe in the Most High and keeping the laws of the Most High, we the ones that truly believe in the Most High. We're not like the hypocrites out here, as it says in verse 15 here. But the hypocrite will be offended thereat. We're the ones that truly believe in the Most High and in keeping His laws and instilling the laws back into our people. Right? So this is what we do. We're the true followers of the Most High. Okay? I'm going to go to chapter 18 in the book of Sirach now. And it's a shame, man. Our people, they love to indulge in their sins that they don't even care anymore, man. It's like when you have someone trying to teach them straight from the Bible, like as I'm doing here, it's on my phone, so, and you're reading along with me. So it's not like I'm saying something that's not in the Bible. It's not like I'm speaking from my own mind or my own thoughts or whatever. These are all on the screen here. I'm displaying it to you right now. Right? So we're in the book of Sirach, chapter 18, and I'm going to go to verse 27. Okay. A wise man, right? What's the wise man? The wise man are the ones that knows the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. That's the wisdom. The wisdom of the scriptures, right? A wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, he will Salakia. In the day of sinning, he will beware of offense. But a fool will not observe time. Right? So who are your fools? Your fools are the ones out here are basically the false prophets. They're the ones that's teaching lawlessness. They're teaching you that you can break the dietary law, that you can eat your lobster, your shrimps, your crabs, right? Those are the fools right here that the Most High is speaking about. But the wise men are the ones that keeps the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, right? And in the day of sinning, he will beware of offense, right? So we're going to know if we're sinning, if we're going off, if we're drinking those drinks, those sodas or whatever, or those sugary drinks from the supermarkets or the restaurants that's loaded with the cochineal bug, the red dye, and all that stuff. In this day of sinning, we will be aware of that offense. We're going to be aware if someone trying to give us pork or shellfish or catfish or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the fool will not observe time, right? So the fool, they don't care about the laws. They're gonna eat whatever. They're gonna dress however. Their wives are gonna be out here just showing everything. They don't care how their wives dress. They don't want no modest woman. They don't want a woman that covers up. You know what I'm saying? And dressing in all modesty. Looking beautiful in the eyes of the Most High, the way the woman should be. Right? They don't care. But the fool will not observe time. So that's self-explanatory there, man. You know what I'm saying? I can even go up to verse 1 in this chapter here in Sirach 18, right? And it says here, he that liveth forever have created all things in general. Who that's speaking about? That's speaking about the Most High. He created all things. He created all of the heavens, all of the earth, everything in the earth. right? Verse 2. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, right? So the Lord is only righteous, okay? What's the righteous? The righteous is the law, statutes, commandments that he gave his people to keep. That's righteousness, right? And there is none other but he. So if you following a God that's teaching lawlessness according to the scriptures, that's not the most high. That's of Satan. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not keeping these laws of the Most High and you're not teaching people to keep these laws, then you're worshiping a different God, and that's breaking the first commandment of the Most High. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Right? So it says here, the Lord is righteous, only is righteous, and there is none other besides he. Right? Verse 3. Who governed the world with the palm of his hand? Right? So he's holding the whole world in the palm of his hand. He's letting you know how big he is. You know what I'm saying? People don't take heed to the stuff right here, man. It's all in the scriptures. And all things obey his will. All things obey his will, right? For he is the king of all. By his power, dividing holy things among them from profane, right? What are the holy things? If you want to consent that to the dietary law, the holy things is the foods that we're permitted to eat, which is the chicken, the beef. You have your goat. You can occasionally eat goat. You can eat the turkey. All of the things that's clean for us to eat. Those are the holy things that the Most High sanctioned for us to eat, right? And then you have the profane things. What's the profane things? That's your shellfish, the fish without scales and fins. All of the abominable things that we're not supposed to eat, right? So that's what the Most High does. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. Right? You can consider the holy things the people that's striving to keep the laws of the Most High. And then you have your people that teaches lawlessness, your false prophets. They teach you that because we're under grace, we can do whatever we want, eat whatever we want, and live however we want. Our wives can dress however they want, not modest, out here being clamorous, right? So those are your profane people. Okay? Verse 4. To whom hath he given power to declare his works, and whom shall find out his noble acts? Right? So you don't know how the Most High move. The Most High, he's the Most High. You can't think how the Most High thinks. You don't know what his next move is. That's why a lot of people be so dumbfounded on what's going on in the world because they're not in these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know how the Most High work. They don't know the Most High in general, right? Especially if you're not keeping the law, statutes, commandments. Just as the scripture says, it makes you a hypocrite. Okay, verse 5. Who shall number the strength of his majesty, and who shall also tell out his mercies? Right? So you don't know how strong the Most High. You don't know who you don't know who he's going to have mercy on. You know what I'm saying? All of these people out here, they exalting the ones who they want to exalt. It's like idolatry, and that's a sin in the Most High's eyes too. So you may think that oh, this because this person is love, and he's most exalted, that the Most High is going to have mercy on this person. Well, you got that wrong. The Most High, he works for the underdog. The ones that's put low. Those are the ones that he exalts. You know what I'm saying? Verse 6. As for the wondrous works of the Lord Yahweh, there may be taken from them, neither may anything be put onto them, neither can the ground of them be found out. Right? So that's self explanatory. As for the wondrous works of the Most High, there may nothing be taken from them. Right? So you can't take away from what the Most High created. Is a matter of fact, I can relate this to the unclean foods. If the Most High created the pig to be unclean, and the duck, and the shellfish, the fish without scales and fins, like your eel, your catfish, you know what I'm saying, your gills or whatever, All of that stuff is an abomination unto the Most High. We're not supposed to be eating that stuff. So the Most High created it, as it says here. There may be nothing be taken away from them, neither may anything be put onto them. So you can't make something that the Most High made unclean clean. You can't do it. It's what the most. He's the king of all this, as it says here in the scriptures. He created everything, right? So human can't take what the Most High made unclean clean. So you can't be out there preaching, oh, it's okay to eat pork and shellfish and all that stuff, right? Neither may anything be put onto them, neither can the ground of them be found out. Right? Verse 7, when a man have done, then he beginneth, and when he leaveth off, then shall he be doubtful. Right? So, as it says here, man, the Most High, his word is final. If he made something unclean, it's unclean. There's nothing you can do to make it clean. You can't fry it at a certain temperature or broil it at a certain temperature. You can't soak it in water for weeks and weeks. If it's unclean, it's unclean. You can't eat it. Right? I'm going to go to the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24. Okay? And just as I said before, this is coming straight from the scriptures. It's not how I feel or how I think or how I perceive things. Real men of the Most High who keeps the laws of the Most High, who fear the Most High, we speak from the scriptures. As the scriptures say, we're the Most High's mouthpiece. We speak according to his word, not according to new age religion or how people think, or worldly religion or some other god. Okay? All of that is idolatry and an abomination into the eyes of the Most High. All right, and I'm going to start at verse 10 here. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets, right? Many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. So those false prophets, just as I was saying, those are the ones out there teaching lawlessness. They teach the gospel of love. They don't teach the gospel of truth. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're exalted and loved. But if you go through the scriptures, all of the prophets and all of the disciples of the Most High, they was despised and hated. You know, a lot of them they wasn't loved because they was out there rebuking and reproving and trying to edify in the people that who was living in their sins, and lasciviousness. They didn't want to hear this truth right here because they was getting cut to the heart, right? So that's why all of the prophets and all of the apostles of the Most High who taught the truth and according to this word, they was hated, right? And many false prophets shall arise. Those are the ones that teach we're under grace. We can live how long as we want and do whatever we want, right? But hey, I guess, not to disrespect, but hey, that's what Kobe Bryant thought. He thought that he can live under grace and do whatever he want and, not regard the laws of the Most High. And unfortunately for his family, the ones that's still here, he got judged. Right? So, you can't follow these false prophets, man. They're not following the Most High. Right? And many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. Okay? Verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right? So what's iniquity? Iniquity is sin. What's sin? Sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws. Right? So being that most people are in this world sinning, then you have the false prophets out there enticing people to sin. The love as many is waxing cold. There's no love no more. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's supposed to be exalted are the ones that's brought low, and the ones that should be brought low is being exalted, which is your false prophets out here, right? Enticing you to follow other gods and break the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Verse 12. And because iniquity, which is the transgression of the Most High's law, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, but he that shall endure to the end shall be saved. right? One of my favorite verses there. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same, which is the person that's endured to the end, keeping the law, statutes, the commandments of the Most High, shall be saved. Right? So that cuts the doctrine of everyone is already saved already. That's nonsense. That's new age religion nonsense. You know what I'm saying? The people that's teaching that we're under grace, that we can do whatever we want. Those are the people that teach that we're saved. We're not saved, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is Yahushua speaking. This is written in red letter. You can't see it on this right here, but in the Bible, in the King James Version, it's written in red letter. And he's the one that's saying that. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Right? Saved from what? Saved from this wicked kingdom. You know, this kingdom is not of the Most High and of Christ. He says that in the book of John. You know, everything that's going on in this world is wicked. According to the book of Job 9:24, the world is given on to the hands of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? So this world is not of the Most High, right? Verse 14, and the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Right? So this gospel, which means according to this gospel, this Bible, the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached unto all the world for a witness. Right? So we're the ones that spreading this word in truth. You know, we come straight from the scriptures. We don't come from some Jehovah's Witness doctrine, you know, or Jehovah wickedness. You know, they make up their own booklets or whatever to try to tell you what the Bible says, the Book of Mormon, all of this nonsense out here. They done made a whole new tribe in the Book of Mormon. You know what I'm saying? That's just pure abomination in the Most High's eyes, man. Right? So you got to teach according to this gospel, which is the scriptures here, as it says in verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Right? So this is what we're supposed to be teaching out here, brothers and sisters. You know, even though we may be the ones that's not being exalted by all of the carnally minded, idolatrous people in this world, but we got to continue to teach this truth, no matter what. You know, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm gonna go to the book of. I'm gonna stay in Saint Matthew, and I'm gonna go to chapter 16. Okay, and I'm gonna start at verse 24, and it reads: Then said Jesus, which is Yahushai, but the world calls Jesus Christ, unto his disciples: If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross. Right. So that means you got to deny yourself. You got to put away the old man, as the scriptures say. You know, and you got to follow the Most High and his son Yahushai and take up your cross and follow him. Verse 25, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life shall, Salakia, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. Right? So when you lose your life, which is your carnal life in this world, for the Most High's son Yahushai's sake, you're going to find life. How you going to find life? You're going to find your life in peace, in happiness, you know, in the kingdom of heaven, in everlasting life, right? So you got to put behind you the cares of this world and the customs of this world, which is the new wine of Babylon, which is being pushed nowadays, right? The gospel of grace for everlasting grace, right? You know, we can break all of the sins. That's what you got to lose. You got to lose that life for Yahweh's sake, as it says here, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it in the kingdom of the Most High, right? And in peace of mind, you know, being holy from the profane things in this world, you know, from all of the sins and the iniquities that's abounding, you know. Verse 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Right? So the Most High, through Yahushua, is letting you know, if you want to call yourself prophet in anything in this world in the acts of committing sin, then, what is it if you're going to lose your soul in the end? When Christ is sent back to destroy this world of sin and redeem his true followers of the Most High and believers in him, you're going to lose your soul if you're in sin. So what does it profit? You're going to be busting your hump out here all day in sin, breaking the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments to sort of achieve something in this world of sin. And then in the end, it's all going to come to naught, and you're going to lose your soul too. So that's why it says here, for what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Right? So all of the things that you done made in this world carnally, it's not going to profit you. Just as it says in the book of Proverbs. The riches doesn't profit in the day of evil, in the day of judgment. So all of this that you done accomplished in this world, you done made all this money. You think you're living comfortably and you think you're going to live out the rest of your days. The Most High could take your day away just like this right here, just a snap of a finger, right? Look what he did with Kobe Bryant. He was one of the best basketball players in the world, right? He retired. He had nearly 30 years in the NBA. He done smashed records, and he had a whole lot of money. He had his own helicopter, mansions, houses all over the country, probably the world. He was looking to put his daughter into the WNBA. He had plans. But the Most High put that to a stop real quick. He said, hey, you have plans, but I have other plans. You know what I'm saying? And that's just to let you know, just as the scriptures say in the book of Deuteronomy and in Paul's letters, the Most High, he don't have respect of persons. He don't care who you is. He don't care how much money you got, how much fame you got. If it's time to go, it's time to go. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. You can have 100 billion in a bank. That's not going to profit you. Just as it says here, or what shall a man give in exchange for his own soul? So you can't give nothing to the Most High. You can give him, you could clear out the bank account. You can give him your house, all your cars. But when he calls you home, that's it. You got to leave and drop everything right there. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. Right? Verse 27. For the Son of Man shall come in all in the glory of his Father, which is the Most High, with his angels. And then he shall reward every man according to his work. Right? Reward every man. And in this case right here, reward doesn't always mean good. That just means the recompense for what you have done. You know what I'm saying? When people see, that's the switching of words, that's the semantics. A lot of people think when you're rewarded, it's always good. In this sense right here, it doesn't mean good all the time. It means it's according to what you have done, according to your works, just as the scriptures say here, right? And then shall he, Salakia, and then he shall reward every man according to his work, right? Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man. Who's the Son of Man? That's Yahushai, in which this world calls Jesus Christ, right? And Yahushai is in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, for those who don't know, okay? Till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Okay, so you got some of us, who's believing in the Most High in truth and faith and keeping his commandments to remain holy from the world. We're the ones that's not going to taste death, as it says here in the scripture. There should be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, coming in his kingdom. Right? So we're the ones that's striving. We're striving to keep the laws, statutes, the commandments of the Most High, to remain holy and be ye separate from the world, not partaking in the world's sin and in the wine, you know, and we're the ones that truly have faith in his son, Yahushua, which the world calls Jesus Christ, according to the scriptures, not according to what you see in these portraits all around here, or what you've been taught all your life, or what you've been seeing on TV and movies and all of that stuff. We believing in the Son, yes, Yahushai Hamashiach, according to the scripture, in the book of Daniel, in the book of Revelation, right? So we're the ones who have the true faith here. So I'm going to go to the book of First Corinthians, chapter 10, okay? And I'm going to start at verse 13. All right, and it reads, "There have no temptation taken you, but such as coming to man. But God Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, by but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it." Right? So that's letting you know that the Most High is always with you. You know, a lot of us may be thinking that we may be going through a few things that no one else is going through, or we may think that there's no way out. You know, we're cornered in. You know, but the Most High, He always makes a way for you. It says right here, you know, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape. So the Most High is always going to make a way for you to escape. He always going to open that door of escape for you. You know, so you're not only bound to sin. See, a lot of these people, this as it says in the book of Sirach in chapter 32, they make an excuse to sin. You know, they think that there's no way out. This is what they have to do. But it says right here in the book of First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, the Most High always make a way for you to escape from sinning. You know what I'm saying? So sin, it's not an excuse of a way to get out. You know, but you have all of our people, you know, that's what they love to do. And their excuse is grace. You know, oh, we're under grace, so we can do these things here. We don't have to keep the laws of the Most High. Or some of them would say, oh, well, we're living in a place where we can't keep the laws of the Most High, all of them, right? But you know, they're saying things like this, but they're keeping all of America's laws. You know, they don't leave their door and go places without keeping the laws of America. But they say, oh, we can do all things through Christ, but we can't keep the laws of the Most High, right? It's crazy. So this has the scripture say, those are the hypocrites, man. And when you try to tell them there is a way that you can keep the laws and teach the laws of the Most High instead of lawlessness and new age religion and the wines of Babylon, you know, they get offended by that. You know what I'm saying? So this has the scripture say here, there is a way that the Most High can provide for you, which will be a way out from sinning, that ye may be able to bear it. Right? So the Most High is not going to put anything on you that you can't bear, man. You know, I'm going to go to the book of St. John, chapter 10, and I'm going to end this right here. Okay? And I'm going to go to verse 25. All right, and it reads, "Then Jesus, Yahushai, answered them, I told you, and ye believe not." Right? So that's what we're doing. You know, us men of the Most High who's striving to keep these laws. You know, the words of the Most High and Yahushai. You know, we try to tell the people to keep these laws and they don't believe it. They think that the laws are done away with, right? "I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me." Right? Who the ones that bear witness of you? The ones that keeps the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. We're the ones that bear witness of the true Son of the Heavenly Father. You know, Yahushai Hamashiach, right? Verse 26. "But ye believe not, because ye are not my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." Right? So when the Most High was sent into this world Salakia, when Yahushai Hamashiach was sent into this world from Yahweh to instill the laws back into the sinful people, which is us, you know, we're the ones that heard his name. We heard his voice because, you know, we're his sheep. But then you have the other ones that don't hear the words of the scriptures and they disregard them and they feel that we're under grace, more than likely they're following Paul's letters. You know what I'm saying? Because Paul speaks a lot about grace, but they're not understanding Paul's letters because they're not reading the Old Testament. And they would see that grace is not something that bounds forever. Even according to the world terms, grace is not something that you have forever. If you get a grace period from the bank to pay your mortgage or bank payment, they give you a certain amount of days. They don't give you forever and forever to pay that grace, right? As it says in verse 27 again, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, right? Verse 28, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any pluck, Salakia, neither shall any man, the men of this world, right, pluck them out of my hand. So if you're a true follower of Yahushua Hamashiach, no one can pluck you out of his hand because you have been given unto him from the Most High. That means you have been ordained from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So you may have a few people that you may know. This goes to the carnally minded people in the world, that they may stop sinning with you and celebrating all of the abominations of this world and continue to pick up their cross and follow Yahushua Hamashiach. You may think that you can pull them out of what they're doing. But as it says here in verse 28, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. So if you're a true follower of Yahushua Hamashiach, Salakia, there's nothing no man can do. You know what I'm saying? You can plan, you can plot, you can do this and do that, and you could try to bring them low or whatever, or not exalt them for the works they do, the good works of the Most High. You're not going to be able to pluck them out of the Most High in Yahushua's name, hand, right? So this is letting you know plainly here. Verse 29, my Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, right? And no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. So the ones who is truly keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, we've been ordained from the beginning to do these things here, right? As it says here, and that's what makes us holy. It makes us set apart from the world. From participating in the abominations that's going on here. The celebration of pagan holidays. Easter, Christmas, New Year's. All of these things is not even in the Bible. But most of the people that's here, they call themselves true believers of God and followers of Christ, right? So where in the scripture does it says celebrate Christmas? Where does it says Easter is my birthday? Where does it says in the Bible celebrate Thanksgiving? All of these pagan holidays, man. Independence Day and all of that stuff. None of that stuff is in the Bible, but these are holidays according to America, aka Babylon, right? Verse 29 again. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, which is greater than anything in this world. And no man in this world is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. And I am my Father are one. Right? So it's plain. It's a plain cut. To all of you false prophets out here teaching the gospel of for everlasting grace and love and lawlessness. You know what I'm saying? All of the people who disregards the Most High's laws, especially his dietary law. You know, it says it right here. You're not true followers of Yahushua Hamashiach and true believers of the Most High, because you do whatever you want to do. You eat all of your abominable foods. You defile the Sabbath. You know, and you don't believe in the Most High. You don't keep the laws of the Most High, right? So I'm going to end that there, and hopefully that it was edifying. Hopefully that I wasn't too passionate for the people out there who can't take or bear the truth, right? But hey, I got to give it to you how the scriptures say it. This as it says in the scriptures, we can't hold back. We got to let the people have it according to the scripture, right? We got to speak boldly. We got to be affirmative in this world, in this world, right? Salakia. And this how we got to give it to the people. We can't sugarcoat things. We got to come straight out of these scriptures. We got to call all of these false teachings and false prophets out. And we got to keep the laws of the Most High, man. We got to keep this dietary law as I showed you earlier in this video here. There's a lot of things that's being put in this food that's abominable in the Most High's eyes to eat. And we're not supposed to be consuming these things, man. And we got to check these ingredients that's on these food labels. And, just because it's cheaper doesn't mean that, you're going to come out better. You're going to save money. If it costs a little bit more money to buy that food product that's clean and kosher, and respectable in the Most High's eyes, then hey, that's what you got to do. If you got to spend an extra $2 or $3, what's it to you? The Most High is going to give that back to you. If he see that you're striving, to keep his laws, he's going to look out for you, no matter what, man. Right? So, with that, in closing, as I was saying, hopefully that this was edifying. Hopefully that this was enjoyable. And until next time, shalom.